Yeah, just kidding. Yeah, Oppa.
Yeah, I have a question.
You have a question?
Yes.
Yeah.
What does MC stand for?
Master of Ceremony.
Ah.
Are you checking my skill? Oppa, at any time. Huh? Oppa is checking the skills. Yeah. Okay. Yes, Oppa.
Yeah, hello, good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank you to my lovely classmates and other attendees for attending this debate. Now, I would like to introduce myself. Yeah, for this debate, I, Kamya Sanda, and Immortal GB will be the masters of ceremony for this round. And this debate is between group 3 and 2. The topic will be about many can buy happiness.
The affirmative team is from Group 3. The speaker are Kim Momoko, Pomi and I, Tathakin, and Laurie.
And then the negative teams from Group 2. The speakers are Ninteri Line, called Noreen, Tumia Jessington, Jininkan called Lewis, and Amy Therian called Amelia. The educators of this debate are Teacher Pugh, Teacher Kimeu, and our audience.
Each speaker may speak for 4 minutes. There will be a warning bell at 3 minutes and 30 seconds, with 2 bolts at 4 minutes to indicate the speaker time has expired. So now let's start our debate. Then let's welcome our first speaker from affirmative team, Kim Momoko.
Can I start now? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for taking the time to come to this debate. My name is Kim Mogo, and I'm the first speaker of the affirmative team. So let me come to my first argument. Money increases the quality of life, which buys happiness. People believe that money cannot buy happiness, but we can't deny the fact that money is absolutely a necessity and it means a lot to human beings. This is because it plays a main role in acquisition of goods and services such as shelter, clothing, food, entertainment, and typically a broader range of other things that make the lives of the human beings pleasurable. So yes, I accept that money can buy happiness if it's managed in the right way. I know our society has plenty of different points of views when it comes to money. Most importantly, I want to mention that money is so vital as it provides opportunities for us to have a better life. Having money gives you not only the freedom to live comfortably, but also options to decide how you want to live and support the things you care most about in your life. You can eat what you want, live where you want, have what you desire, go wherever, and spend time doing what you want to without worries. Do you have hobbies you want to pursue or a dream to start your own business? Money gives you the freedom to explore those areas. Being able to make choices and have options is one of the best feelings in the world, right? Knowing you're stuck in a situation because you need the money or financial help is frustrating, so removing that from your life is a great relief. Also, when you have money, you can control what you want or don't want to. Want to have a different career, want to move to a different state or country, want to travel somewhere new for vacation, you can do this without worrying if you have money. In addition, money is one of the things that you'll need the most if you want your family to be happy. Apart from the basic requirements such as food and clothes, you need to pay the school or extra classes bills of your children, take them to new places, provide them with well-balanced meals, problematic medication, and fill their requirements. All these are only possible if you have money, and by fulfilling the needs and wants of your family, I'm sure that you can bring a smile on their face. As I mentioned earlier, money can possibly buy you better health and mental well-being. It is important for us, the students, to be great in both physical and mental health. By getting great health care, we will be able to concentrate well in our studies. Our research has shown that children who have money are more likely to do well in school and successful careers. This is because their brains are better developed due to the fact that they don't have to worry about things like where their next meal is coming from or whether they'll be able to afford clothes for school. Furthermore, some say that we get more happiness from our memories and experiences. Not everything costs money and some experiences are free. I'm not saying it's not true, but mostly experiences created by money are more likely to get happiness. For example, your friends are going on a trip or somewhere else on a holiday together and you're left alone because you don't have money. Or you can buy a ticket to see your favorite band's live performance as you don't have enough money. And let's be more realistic. A friend you dearly miss lives in a foreign country, but you don't have money to buy an air ticket to see her. Due to these facts, we can clearly see how money is essential to create those memories. If only you have enough money, you can travel to different parts of the world, try different foods, and see wonderful sights. In summary, I want to point out that money plays a main role in our lives and happiness depends on how much money you have and how you spend it. For all of these reasons, I strongly believe that money is probably one of the essential things in this society and it can create better life opportunities. With it, we will become economically stable and making life will be easier in some ways. Thank you.
This is the time for POI reading.
Oh, can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Okay. You said like as research has shown students can study well if they have money. So can you provide any further information about that study, like the study name or the who carried out the study?
Well, in my opinion,
Now, thank you so much to Kim Momoko, and let's welcome our first speaker from negative team, Noreen.
Teacher, can you hear me? Okay, let's start. So good evening to Josh, then my worthy opponents, faculty members, and audience. This topic for debated money can buy happiness, and we, the negative team, strongly believe that this statement is false. So I previously stated I'm hereby standing against the motions, and I would like to start by saying money cannot buy happiness. So you all heard the phrase money cannot buy happiness. Actually, happiness is the difficult word to define and it has no concrete existence. So happiness is an emotion. It's something we feel, not something we buy. Buying the things they want, the pleasure of the things like rented clothes, luxurious car, or luxurious apartment. People may think this is the real happiness. Actually, this is not the happiness. This is the pleasure and the comfort. So just remember, there's a distinct difference between happiness and the comfort. The comfort is something impermanent. For example, once you eat a delicious food, after that, it is gone. Once you're riding on the luxurious car, after you came off the car, the pleasure is gone. So all the pleasurable things, all the materialistic things that we find in the world give us the pleasure, but just remember they're temporary. You're not being happy by seeing those impermanence. So never misunderstand between the pleasure and the happiness. All the materialistic things, all the comfortable things that we use in our life gives us pleasure, and there is not happiness because they're fleeting. When they're being impermanent, when they become change, we suffer. So these are the real proof that happiness is far more important than the material things all the time. To the first point, the world's best relationships cannot be purchased with money. Relationships can include your friends, family, even though who are not your life partner. So as I said, love of money will surely provide us lots of ways to entertain ourselves, but it cannot buy a real love for a happy life. For example, a happy family, it's something you cannot buy. You must work hard to build good relationships. Often the truth of the undercurrents of the relationships, it's the marks from the public. Most people, for instance, thought Bill and Melinda Gates had a better relationship until they announced a separate divorce. So although there frequently are strong associations between happy people and healthy relationships, I'm not claiming that relationships are the only one things that make people life enjoyable. So never underestimate the importance the relationship to individual. Same relationship require time, patience, and since many simply won't always be able to work out for us, we should always be aware of this. And relationships are the perfect example. Many may be able to have you to enter some connections, but it will never be able to take the place of the real connection based on respect and trust. So now to my second point, finding trustful and loyal people has become so tricky that the moment you do, it's almost surreal. You might be able to use your money to pay for someone's service. You might be able to purchase and make, hire a huge staff, or even hire a private driver. Even though they are expensive, fake loyalty is community. And you won't have people who will always be loyal to you. And true loyalty is something that many cannot buy. It is described as someone who will defend you without asking anything to return. So you need to genuinely care about what people like and someone else like if you want to be surrounded by the loyal people. So in conclusion, I would like to mention the chorus that my favorite Jamaican singer, Bob Marley said. Money is the number, never ends. If it takes money to search for love and happiness, your search will never end. So we, the negative team, strongly believe that money just buy things and not the feelings called happiness. Thank you for your attention. This is Noreen as the first speaker of the negative team.
This is time for P1 questions raising. Thank you.
You said that to summarize, you stated that money does not buy happiness, but how do you understand the happiness you're mentioning now? What exactly do you mean by true happiness?
Okay, so I already mentioned on the top, I said, happiness is still difficult word to define and it has no concrete existence. So, but generally we can mention true happiness is enjoying your own company and living in peace and harmony with your body, mind, and soul. So to be truly happy, you don't need other people or material things. So happiness is just the consequences or personal effort and living in life a purpose. So yeah, that's all.
For my second question, you did mention that happiness and pleasure are not the same because the pleasure is only for a short time, but isn't it one of the joy happiness in the case? How will you explain this?
So I already mentioned again, I think you didn't pay enough attention to my speech.
I did pay attention. Please answer my question.
I will repeat. So I told you they are just temporarily. You may buy a things like the material things, but it's just the temporarily. As I mentioned, if you eat a delicious food, after that it's gone. If you ride on the luxurious car, after you came out of the car, that pleasure is gone. It's just the temporary and fleeting. You can't buy a real happiness by the money.
Isn't it what people want because you feel comfort, or if not, what do people want really?
This is 1 minute. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Untitled, and let's welcome to our second speaker for affirmative team, Pomina.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Pomina, the second affirmative speaker of our team. Basically, if you still take money can buy happiness, you probably don't have enough of it or you are spending it poorly in the wrong way. Let us explain. Here's what most people get wrong. Money shouldn't be emotional. It's just a part of life. It can make us a true inner happiness, and happiness with money is just a temporary. Whatever they say, they are saying this because they don't know the fact that the lack of it can cause emotional pain, and then you can be happy. Money is the very first foundation of life. It is also critical to choose ways, and because bit or money, no happiness is no path. There must be some appropriate money simply just to exist, and you must work for it. As the customer in life, and as our first speaker said, it plays a main role in acquisitions of goods and services. Sometimes you will feel disappointed or you can get anxieties when you did a job, but you can get back the values of what you did. Don't look at further, just look at the situation in our country. People got more and more anxiety because they are losing their money. You will know what I'm saying. Yes, the inflation. Inflation is the rate of increasing in prices. Let me explain a little bit. If you have 10,000 checks in 2019 and you will keep that 10,000 checks till 2022, that 10,000 checks will equal to the values of 3,000 checks now in 2022. It's like slowly losing your money in your pocket, and also like people can get the values. People can get the price equal to their effort. People got anxieties because their money values are being decreased by someone or some group of people. But people will be happy, or at least they will not get anxieties if they have enough money to stand still during the inflation period. Just look at the busy class people. They are suffering just only to eat and drink, and thus they have only anxieties in their body, and they have no time to think what happiness is. Don't lie, ladies and gentlemen. Just imagine you were in their place. Will you be happy when your child or your loved ones are starving? You can't be happy when you are in debt and you are just being fined from your job, right? So the truth is, if you think money will make you happy, then you're probably safe to say it. Whenever someone says that money is not important or even money makes you unhappy, their motive is obvious. Since they have no money, their words are designed to comfort themselves. There is no need to look at does money makes you happy studies to prove that. At the end of the day, people who are rich but not happy often means that they are viewing and spending the money the wrong way. Here are some reasons why rich people are unhappy despite having plenty of money at their disposal. Smith's marriage and family life fell apart largely because he wasn't earning enough to keep up his rents and bills. On one occasion, he even had to spend a night in a prison because he couldn't pay his parking ticket. As for many people, money became important for him not because he had too much of it, but because he had too little. It was therefore quite clear to him that the pursuit of happiness was inseparable from the pursuit of money. Without money is have a sickness, the great poet Johann Wolfgang said. To conclude, our opponents fail to contend with our most important point about the value of money and the truth of inner happiness. Because of the information that I have presented, I strongly agree the motion money can buy happiness. Thank you.
Any questions for POI? If not, thank you so much for
So I have a question.
Thank you. Sorry.
So okay, well, so you said about the anxiety. So rich people can also have anxiety. So however, don't you worry about losing the wealth you have built up due to your income, like rich people have?
Well, I don't say that rich people, I don't say that poor people can get anxieties. It's not rich or poor. I talk about the inflation. Inflation affects both our classes. Thank you.
So you admit that rich people can also have anxiety, and also money can cause people to have anxiety. Do you admit that?
Questions?
Did you hear me well?
Yes.
So did you admit that rich people can also have anxiety, and money is the cause of people having anxiety? Did you admit that?
Yes. I agree that inflation affects our rich people too, but it just imagine you are rich and you have to buy something in the inflation, and you will not hesitate what to buy and what to do. And for the business class people, like I said, they are suffering just only to eat and drink, and people suffer. Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much to Pom Yanai, and let's welcome our second speaker from negative team, Chungya Jason.
Oh, sorry, everyone. Like my Wi-Fi disconnected. That's why. So shall we start?
Yes, you can.
Can you hear me well?
Yes.
Okay. So shall we start? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Chu as the second speaker of the negative team. The members of the affirmative team try to show you that money can buy happiness by stating basic class people only want food or drink to satisfy their happiness. But do you really think that wealthy people will be satisfied with those? Of course not. They won't be satisfied with just food and a drink. No, of course, because they have money. Because of that, they want more and more things to satisfy their inner satisfaction. So I would like to ask you a question that, would you believe it if I told you that everyone has their own talent? Well, talent is a natural ability to be good at something without being taught. True talent is having exceptional brain power or coordination and almost always outshines others in how quickly and effortlessly you can do something compared to others. As the saying goes, the person born with a talent they are meant to use will find their greatness happiness in using it. The happiness that people get from showcasing or using their own talent is priceless. In the same time, talent comes naturally and no amount of money can buy it. To give a great example, if people can buy talent with money, then everyone in this world will be all talented, especially those who can afford money to buy any talent. Second thing I would like to point out is that we cannot buy health with money. Billionaires and their families are not immune to cancer, dyslexia, or diabetes. The West of Scotland 2007 studies held in the community has shown that rich and poor were equally likely to have accidents, cancer, heart disease, and mental illness. Moreover, even billionaires can also be killed by the same agglomerated diseases that kill the rest of us, such as cancer, heart attacks, kidney failure, and others. As a piece of evidence, the chairman of Korean conglomerate Samsung Group, Lee Kyung-hee, died of coronavirus in 2020. He had 17.3 billion at the time, but from the side of his family, even if they have that much money, they couldn't keep him alive and lost him. As you all can see, this obviously shows that money cannot buy happiness. Speaking about that, time and tide wait for no man. Time is free, but it's priceless and you can buy it with money. Everyone, rich or poor, gets the same 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and you cannot get back the time you have lost. As the first speaker of the affirmative teams, they try to show you that children from wealthy families have more time or happy memories with their family. But we live in the reality where many people who came from wealthy families are at least in part struggling mentally because their parents were largely absent from their childhood. For example, this could be because the parents were making more money and they were always away from the family at home by using the reason they're doing it all for their family to have comfortable lives now and in the future. This makes it impossible for children to have their basic needs, such as feeling loved, valued, validated, and secure, which means that happy moment of a family cannot be bought with money. Moreover, some of the wealthiest people in the world are extremely emotionally damaged and suffering from various mental health problems. We're always hearing about rich celebrities ending their life by suicide. In fact, according to the WHO, despite being one of the world's wealthiest countries for decades, the US is one of the most depressed nations in the entire world. Furthermore, there are a lot of people who choose happiness over money. For instance, content creators on YouTube who are following their passion, doing what they want to do, which brings them happiness rather than getting a well-paid job. Therefore, I strongly believe that happiness cannot be bought with money. Thanks a million for your attention, and questions are welcome.
Thank you so much, and this is time for POI. Thank you.
I'm Hater and POI for a group affirmative team. You mentioned that wealthy people won't be satisfied with your desires, with your unlimited satisfaction. But my question is, Or if you take a look at people who are financially poor around you in your surrounding, in your society, do you really think they are having a very happy life when they don't have enough money to survive?
To answer the question, I would like to share my own experience. So, like, my grandma had cancer 5 years ago, and yes, she survived. But that is not that simple. She was so strong mentally and overcome the disease. But on the other hand, her friend had cancer in the same year with her. Her family could also provide her best medication, but for her, she wasn't strong mentally. Plus, there are also other factors. So she died that year. Therefore, I want you to know that it is not based on just money. It's based on other factors such as luck and how strong both mentally and physically the person is. Therefore, I believe that money cannot buy happiness. Plus, Louis will talk about that later. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
My question was not about health.
I'm sorry, time sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much to Trinity and Tone, and let's welcome third speaker from affirmative team, Tatake.
Okay. Shall we start? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Tatake, the third speaker of the affirmative team. I'll be arguing against the motion. Come to my own arguments. Let me first have a look at what the second affirmative speaker has mentioned. She mentioned that money can buy hurt, but if you have enough money that you can pay for health, even if you can buy COVID vaccines, so you can protect from that. And then, so my first argument is, it's been said for ages that you can purchase happiness with money, but to some extent this is true. Only a variety of homes, automobiles, and expensive appear does bring enjoyment to some people who are quite wealthy, but those purchases are merely dreams for the typical people. Happiness may be purchased, but not in the way you might think. Happiness isn't a real thing you can purchase in a shop. However, there are other ways to use money that are intrinsic worth to your life, such as by buying things that make you happy. But there is a lot of data to suggest that purchasing things does not increase happiness. However, the book Stumbling on Happiness claims that spending money on experiences is a smart investment in terms of the same as having power. In a world where practically everything can be purchased, money opens many possibilities. The first and most important building block of life is money. So it is impossible to lead a happy, comfortable life without money. Since the entire economy of the world is based on money, living without it means that there is no way forward. You must labor for money in order to obtain it as is common in life. We need money to support if we want to live a better life with more happiness and freedom. The most straightforward common sense is this. So everyone has the capacity to decide what their true pleasure is, but this is unlikely to occur in the absence of adequate finance. Individuals are said to prefer confrontation and exert effort because they know that not having money will negatively impact them more than ever. But there are some people who claim that people argue, fight, and work so hard to get money, but actually people are motivated by money. So here, I'd like to focus on 2 points that the other side has failed to address. The first reason why we are observing the motion is poverty inhibits well-being. The American Academy of Family Physicians reports that research links the lack of work to poor health outcomes and a reduced life expectancy. In addition to the fact that those who are poor find it more difficult to purchase wholesome food and decent housing. For example, low-income areas frequently have worse hospitals and are less likely to have access to public amenities that improve health, such as clean water and safe streets. Also, poverty frequently leads to a chain reaction of worse difficulties. For instance, poverty may push a person into employment at an early age, preventing them from obtaining an education and restricting them from accessing higher paying positions. Another reason is that this is not about how much money you have, this is about how you spend your money. So giving might assist you in discovering your purpose in life. However, you don't need a large amount of money to make a difference. You will feel better even if you buy a small gift and surprise someone like your best friend or like your mom or dad. Not even a small gift, like bottle of water or a cup of coffee to your teacher or boss and see how you feel. Because it's also been demonstrated that spending money on experiences makes people happier. Purchasing things will only increase your culture and increase your risk of losing or breaking them. Whereas experiences foster connections and memories that can last a lifetime. So to conclude, money is an essential and important basic thing even in our daily life. We are also dealing with this money to fulfill our needs and desires, aren't we? So start from those fundamental things. Money is the main thing that we need to keep ourselves and our loved ones happy, also to rise our standard of living. For those reasons, I totally agree the motion, money can buy happiness. Thank you.
This is time for POI. Thank you.
So you said like buying a bottle of water can make people happy. So don't you really think that that really depends on the person's mind and the value of like their sentimental feelings? For me, I don't think like that depends on the money, that it's all about the person's feelings. So how do you think about that?
Because I mean that you will feel better even if you buy a bottle of water to your someone. I mean, like helping someone, like, you know, I mean, you will feel better if you help someone with their problems or something like that. Is same with buying a bottle of water too. Yeah.
So that doesn't matter if that thing you buy for your teacher or someone, even if it's just a water bottle, or even if that is branded bag. So I don't think like it doesn't matter on the price of that thing. It just like your true feelings, and that you want her or him to like, you know, that thing. So what do you think about that?
I believe the happiness can be different depending on each person's view. So it can be yeah, it can be pride, fulfillment, or love, or optimism. Yeah. Yes, it depends on their personal feelings. I mean.
Yes, so it doesn't depend on money, right?
But many, I mean, many buy that. I mean, for a bottle of water, many also buy. Many, I mean, like, how can I say that? Many pay for that too, like.
Thank you so much to Tataki, and yeah, let's welcome our third speaker from negative team, Louis.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Louis speaking, and I'm the third speaker of the negative team. The third speaker of the affirmative team has made a sincere effort, but there was some misunderstanding that I would like to point out and clear up. So she attempted to say that we can buy vaccines to cure the coronavirus. This is neither accurate nor true, because we are not 100% sure that those vaccines will cure coronavirus. And if and only if those vaccines can fully cure, we wouldn't even have coronavirus till now. Thus, it doesn't bind them hurt. And now I would like to start my statements. First, I would like to state that self-worth is something that many can buy. When it comes to knowing our value in life, we attach things with it like money, status, and image to our self-worth. If we have these things, then we are worthy in society. We are accepted, we fit in, we belong, and we have value in this world. But the bitter truth is that there is no price tag for your worthiness. Your worthiness is not defined by your net worth. The value of a person cannot be defined by how much money they make or have. The truth is self-worth cannot be bought by anything. We can't just simply put a price tag on our self-worth because it is greater than any asset. Moving on to my second statement, I would like to declare that money doesn't satisfy all your desires. A new study carried out by the American Psychological Association shows that having more money does not correspond to more satisfaction. In a survey of 5 states of 1.6 million people from 162 countries, researchers found that more money does not lead to greater feelings of fulfillment over time. Of course, I may say that money can buy short-term satisfaction by purchasing something that you have been desiring or wanting. But those feelings of satisfaction are usually temporary, and they may last a few weeks before they fade away, and that new thing is no longer interesting or exciting. Finding true happiness means understanding that the material things we think will make us satisfying don't actually bring lasting joy. Science has confirmed that we derive or obtain more life satisfaction from our experiences than from buying things. Experiences can be more meaningful, and they don't have to cost a lot either. For instance, getting together with a few friends that you haven't seen in a while may give you far more satisfaction than buying an expensive item that you have been eyeballing. Because like I have mentioned before, the material things only provide fleeting pleasure, and hence I may deduce that many cannot buy life satisfaction. My final statement is that many as well cannot buy confidence. While building your confidence, you should never depend on materialistic possession, which can be bought by many. Relying your confidence upon those external things like money or materialistic items is a very dangerous thing to do. Because the moment you don't have those external things, your confidence will be lost. You will feel insecure and worthless without those materialistic items or possessions, which will eventually and gradually lead to unhappiness. Thus, you can never buy or boost your confidence with the use of money, because confidence itself is rather built with clarity, intelligibility, and wisdom in life. Hence, I strongly believe that money cannot buy happiness. Thank you for listening, and questions are welcome.
As Louis said, this is time for PO. Thank you.
Okay, you didn't say anything about affirmative team, so I'll ask my own question. Since you mentioned that the experience contribute to our argument and that we need money, what is the main point you're making back to make your claim?
I beg your pardon? You spoke so fast.
I didn't, but I'll repeat my question. The experience contribute our argument and then we need money. What is the main point you're making back at your claim?
What experiences are you mentioning?
You said experience didn't cost that much, but it still need the money. Please give it a bit details or evidence.
I already mentioned that, for example, we go out with our friends, right? We have to use money for that, right? But those feelings and like those feelings that we get from buying them some expensive items are less than those when you go out with your friends. You, of course, you have to spend money on everything, but it doesn't mean that money buys happiness. Maybe that memories with your friends will give you happiness, but not those it doesn't come from the material things.
And also you stated that makes no difference how much money they have. Could you please an example of situation that is balanced without even money?
What? I beg your pardon again?
You mentioned that it makes no difference how much money you have or you make. Then could you please give me an example, a situation or a statement that is balanced even without money?
Oh, I said that your worthiness is not defined by your net worth. I think you misunderstood that.
So could you please give me an example?
I'm
asking you for information.
Sometimes, for example,
you're no longer subject. I'll respectfully repeat my question. Could you please give me an example of situation that is balanced even without money?
We are not talking about the balance here. We are talking about the worthiness. Some people die, some people suicide because they don't have enough money. They couldn't see their worthiness, right? It wasn't all about money, because they couldn't see their worthiness. And that's why I stated that their worthiness is not defined by their net worth.
So you're ignoring the outcome. If you have money, there will be no worrying for that. But you're ignoring the outcome of doesn't have
what
money.
What outcome are you saying?
Outcome affect if you don't have enough money. You're still
guys,
ignoring that.
Guys, thank you. This is already over 1 minute.
Thank you so much, Eugenia. And now let's welcome to our fourth speaker for affirmative team, Laurie.
Okay, to all of you present here, thanks for joining today. I'm Dory, the final affirmative speaker from Group 3. Look, I understand the spirit of your reputation, but it's an accurate concept that many does by the happiness if it has spent the right way. Let me repeat this. In fact, money is a significant factor in this modern civilized society. It helps us stay stable with daily life and solve a lot of our problems and troubles, and it certainly has the potential to make things easier, also complicate others. And money allows us to meet our basic needs and wants. There is a correlation then between money and happiness regardless of the money. Which means it's not really true that people in poverty don't have anything to do with happiness. I mean, fried rice again in poverty gets every Friday may have inequalities to a slice of pizza in amount of money but not in happiness. Still, poverty is associated with pain. Poverty causes death rates due to low income, low life expectancy, low levels of savings, education, and healthcare. And you can't just deny it saying they are happy because they have less money, so less things to worry about. Less money is just simply associated with emotional pain. And they either lack life evaluation, which is the overall life satisfaction. It refers to a person's thoughts on his or her own life on long term. But what about the rich? Just like Bill Gates said, it's the same hamburger. Where is the difference at all, right? Well, many may not actually buy the happiness, but what does it buy? Experiences that lead to happiness. So it's just basically the same. I appreciate that. I think tech negative speaker mentioning that experiences actually buy the happiness. So if it's simultaneously unacceptable, it's not the same hamburger anymore when you go out for it with a friend, but you still have to buy the hamburger, right? Well, experiences seem to be more connected to our sense of self and self-satisfaction, but only with money. When we go on a trip or going out for going out for a meal, we need money, but we are buying the experiences. This kind of experiences enrich relationships, and we tend to feel that this is really more about who we are. If the experience is of the lead to greater happiness and leading us to stories we could share over and over again. Just like that, getting a flight to a place will be more impactful experience than getting an iPhone. In the same way, instead of fulfilling ourselves, we tend to feel more happy when we get something for a friend. Why would you hate a nice bottle at all, right? And the happiness is unchanged if that friend gets that something by himself either, but he will adore it more as a gift, and that little gift will remind of you to him forever. Human greed is endless, I accept, but that's why the communism that could change the world into a heaven is not working, right? Well, human greed is endless and will never be satisfied with that new shiny little thing that you got yesterday, and it's getting old and used before you even knew it, and you achieve another one. I mean, there's nothing wrong with chasing new things at all. First, affirmative speaker mentioned that things are temporary, materialistic things are temporary, and it's awfully unacceptable. That temporary happiness is just enough to help you get through the day. An article from CNN proves that people who won the lottery becomes extremely unhappy because they end up spending all the money running into debt and full-blown relationships because everyone they once knew is just begging around for money. I mean, it's not about, you can fantasize all you want about how you are going to spend the money different, but you cannot blame it on money. If our brain is very sensitive to changes, and if even a possible solid advantage with money, you can get daily joys, small frequent little pleasures to help you get through the day while focusing on your goals to reach the true happiness. And this whole debate is not about how to be happy when you are poor. This is just simply, can money buy happiness or not? And money certainly can, because life without money is really hard. Thank you.
Thank you. This time for happy be your time.
You said that we need money to create great experiences, but experiences such as when you're with a friend and you want to make a good experience with her, so but you don't have to go to a fancy restaurant.
Please pardon. I missed
Yes?
the half of your question because of my mic. Speaker.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. I'll repeat again. Are you
Yes,
okay
thank you.
now?
Yeah.
Okay. He said that we need money to create good experiences, but we don't have to. When you're with a friend, you don't really have to be that fancy. Like you don't have to go to a fancy restaurant, and you can just go to a nearby park and just buy some street food to share together and create a great moment. Therefore, I believe that it's just based on the person's feeling and not based on money. What do you think about that?
Your question is just entirely half of my point. You still have to buy that cheap meal, right? At the restaurant, cheap restaurant. No, it's not about the quality of the restaurant. It's just simply money can buy happiness, regardless of the amount.
Oh, you can just walk in the park without eating anything, right?
Yeah, but why wouldn't getting a nice meal wouldn't make you happy?
No, because experience make you happy, right? We are not saying that we don't have to use money, but we still have to use money. But money doesn't define happiness, right? It doesn't like
Money
specifically
doesn't
give you
define,
happiness.
yeah, the overall happiness, but you still that entire experience is just associated with money. You still have to honor that.
And I said again that you can just go to the nearby park and just walk with your friend and without spending any money, any cent.
I get your point. There is a bunch of experiences you can just simply reach without money, but money still can buy happiness.
But that doesn't mean that money directly can buy
I mean,
right?
if you are going through a bad day, and what would you do? Yeah, I mean, getting an ice cream or a movie is just what you need on a bad day, right? You have to buy them.
Will you be happy to spend your bad day alone without any family members and just those ice creams, cake?
Have you ever seen a
happy?
rich kid spending their bad day alone?
Of course. Because
Okay.
they have
Yeah, thank you guys. This is already over 1 minute. Thank you so much to Laurie. And yeah, this is the last speaker from Negative Team. Let's welcome Emilia.
So can everyone hear me? Okay.
Yes.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I am the last speaker of the Negative Team, and we firmly believe money cannot buy happiness. First of all, I would like to review the arguments of the affirmative team, and then I will reinforce my team's point to show why we are winning at the end of the debate. The first speaker and the third speaker of the affirmative team said money can provide needs and wants for our living, and they kept saying like money is important for our living, but we are not saying money is not important. Let's repeat our motion again. Our team is disagreeing the motion which says money can buy happiness. We are saying money cannot buy happiness. So like this is just money can give you enjoyment, but this is just temporary. This is just pleasure. This is not true happiness. True happiness is occur from your heart, from your self-worth, self-esteem, and your relationships with families and friends. So you cannot get those happiness from your heart just because you have money. And also, third speaker of the affirmative team said buying a bottle of water can make people happy, but also like she also admit that it all depends on each individual person and their feelings. So what I would say, like writing a letter on your mom birthday can make her happy, not about the money. So the first speaker for a negative team talked about how we cannot get happiness from our relationships and friendships, even if we have money. Genuine love and friendships are based on trust, loyalty, and time. And even if we are surrounded by many people when we have money, this is just because we have money and they are likely to be frauds. You all might know how perfect Princess Diana is. She was born into a rich royal family like a fairy tale, but her mental state was crumbling since her husband, Prince Charles, was having an affair with another woman. There is another evidence here. The research called When Love Meets Money, carried out by the professors of the Institute of Developmental Psychology in Beijing, has shown that the feeling of having relatively more money can cause people to feel less satisfied with their partners, and this leads them to have affairs with other people, which is also known as cheating. I believe this is explicitly showing that even if you are extremely rich, you cannot buy happiness for your relationships. Our second speaker made arguments about how money cannot buy happiness for our talent, and how talent is something you cannot retain by earning, and that is why money cannot help you to be happy with your natural talents. And so our second speaker stated rich people can also be killed by diseases just like the rest of us. You might say you can use the best doctors and extend our lives with many, but the question is, how long could that even last? Even if we have billions of money, we always lose people who we love and who we are happy to be with. Money cannot help us to be happy by keeping them with us forever. The top speaker for team has stated 3 arguments: self-worth, satisfaction, and confidence. All of them are key to happiness, but we can get those things just because we have money. Let me add a piece of evidence here. That study by an associate professor of psychology at the University of Buffalo has shown that when our self-worth or self-esteem is based on our financial success, we are prone to make more financially based social comparison with others, and this leaves our feelings less in control over our finances. That is why it's crucial to say that the more money we have or we want, the more financial stress and anxiety we are likely to get. You might say you can be more confident if you become richer, but it is a shade of pride which usually ends up in showing off, and is definitely not called confidence. As our prior speaker has stated, confidence is a feeling which is built over time due to our wisdom and intelligence, and that is why we cannot be happy confidently just because we have money. And also, the first speaker of our affirmative team has said, as research has shown, students can study well if they have money, but she didn't provide any sources of her research, and it is lack of factual accuracy. The last but not the least, even money can give you the enjoyment. It's not long-lasting enjoyment. It is not considered to be true happiness. For all these reasons, our team is proud to say that money obviously cannot buy our true happiness. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for your powerful statement. Yeah, this time for you.
You said everything is not temporary. Even the we are living in world is not temporary. It will be destroyed in some years, right? So that's money can provide to the memories that lead to happiness, doesn't it?
No, I don't really think money can provide your memories, because as I said, giving a letter on your mom's birthday is not related to money. You can make her happy without money.
But does it even provide to memories? I mean, you said everything is not temporary. Even happiness that is created by me is not temporary. So tell me a thing that is permanent, that is always permanent.
Okay, so like if you are happy about getting a leather bag, when it is broken, your happiness will be gone. You will be sad about it. But if you are happy because your crush gave you a love letter, that will be always permanent until you move on her, because whenever you think about it, you'll be happy because your crush gave you.
That does it. All right. Okay, you mentioned that you can't have a relationship without money, but I just want to know how can we even begin a relationship without money?
Pardon, please.
You mentioned that you can't have a relationship without money, but I just want to know how we even begin a relationship without money.
I guess you were not paying enough attention to me while I was speaking, because I didn't say we cannot get relationship without money. I said we cannot get happiness from our relationship even if we have money.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much to Emily. Now our debate between Group 2 and Group 3 has been successfully finished. I'd like to ask the two teams to congratulate each other, and we thank you for coming.
Well, thank you very much to both teams. We are watching very good debate, right? Yeah, thank you very much. Okay, if so, we have to welcome, right? Yeah. Okay, so yeah, exactly 5 o'clock. So, okay, we could have to go another 2 teams. Yeah, MCs, are you ready?
Yes, teacher, no announcements. So, hello, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the session H1 debate. First of all, let me introduce ourselves. My name is Nureen, and I and Hita will be the master of ceremony for the debate. This debate is between Group 4 and Group 1. The topic will be about relationships can have positive impacts on student academic performance. The affirmative team is from Group 4. The speakers are Sinzinlintat, Diam, Ingrid Khan, Taindrilin, and Kamya Sanda. And then the negative team is from Group 1. The speakers are Tudangwadi, Sunil Wei, Tanime, and Tamyano Kandi. The adjudicators of the debates are Teacher Pugh, Dr. Kimeu, and our audiences. Each speaker may speak for 4 minutes. There will be a warning bell at 3 minutes and 30 seconds with 2 bells at 4 minutes to indicate the speaker's time has expired.
Now let's start our debate. Let's welcome the first affirmative speaker from Group 4, Sinzinlintat Dia.
Okay, so can I start now?
Yes, please. I will share my screen, and so everyone will be clearly seeing my screen. For speaker is just 4 minutes, so you can start now if you're ready.
Good afternoon, everybody. First of all, we would like to thank everyone for taking time to participate in our debate. Today, our Group 4 and Group 1 will debate about the topic, relationships can have positive impacts on students' academic performances. The topic is about the relationships in our daily life, but it mostly refers to the students. Nowadays, we might experience all kinds of relationships, so we decided to choose this topic. Hopefully, it will help us out in some way. In our group, I take the first speaker place and Adrian will be the second speaker. The third speaker is Ta Andrew and Kamala Sanda is the fourth speaker. The last two, Peony and Adrian, will be the note takers. Relationships are close connections between people formed by emotional bonds and interactions. A relationship can be improved or worsened by many situations. What I meant by that is relationships can be evolved over time. There are many kinds of relationships as this is a broad topic, but regarding the motion, we will mainly talk about relationships which are related with students and their academics. This covers family bonds, friendships, romantic relationships, and so on. As for a human, family will be the most important following each other. So a person's beloved and precious relationship can be different. Of course, education is important for everyone, but most people often forget that a student's performance cannot be decided only by exam results. There are still many things like athletic performances, arts and music, morals, and other extracurricular activities. People change as the world changes. A student can experience changes on their desires and have an impact on their education. What I mean by that is sometimes to concentrate on contributing to the local community by joining social clubs, volunteering for donations. But on the other hand, sometimes to try to achieve academic success and continue to higher education. Those intentions don't stay goals that, but can be switched as life teaches and what you want or lighten your butt. Academic performances can be damaged or improved in many ways. Among many matters, relationships play an important role in education. Surroundings can shape you to an extent even if you only follow your type. Supportive family, friends, and partners will heal you mentally, emotionally, and even physically. Healthy relationships will make surely land you are more lively, but toxic relationships will make you miserable, even to be sick of coming to school. That leads to both having impressive performances and struggling to pass the exams. Achieving high scores in exams isn't always a duty. Actually, some assume duties are cornered with what they get. Some don't want at all, but pressure to do. Depending on these situations, results differ. Thus, relationships, family, and friends, people who have more influence than family, can have a big impact on a student's academic performance. That will be discussed by our second speaker, Enrique.
Thank you, DM. We will have a POI session for 1 minute. So any POI from Group 1, you can ask now if you're ready.
Hello, I am Counted and I am POI from the negative team. That's all very interesting, but after listening to your argument, I have some questions to ask. Can you please restate your main point to your argument? I think you don't catch my question. Okay, I will repeat. Can you restate your main point to your argument?
Okay, that's what I mean for POI session. Thank you, speaker, and thank you, POI for group 1, 2. And now let's welcome the first negative speaker from group 1, 2, Danry.
Can you
You
hear
can
my
start
voice
now,
clearly?
you're ready.
Can you hear my voice?
Yes. Yes, clearly.
Albert Einstein is one of the greatest and most influential physicists who was born in Germany. When he said, if you want a happy life, tie it to the goal, not to people or things. Good Madam Chair, ladies and gentlemen, detective and members of affirmative team. The topic for our debate is relationship can have positive impact on student academic performance. First, I would like to explain 4 keywords of our debate topics. According to the dictionary, relationship means any connection between 2 people which can be either positive or negative. Positive impact means cost advantages. Student means a state of life when we study in school. Academic performance means measurement of student achievement across various academic subjects. Before we start our argument, the word relationship we're going to use in this debate is intended to fall in love relationship or otherwise romantic relationship. There are 3 points in our today's debate. As first speaker of the negative team today, I'm Tudawati will be talking about the word relationship for love doesn't match with the student. And our second speaker, Sunewe, will be talking about how valuable a student life is. And after that, our third speaker, Tanimi, will be talking about why must not students waste their time just for love instead of studying. But last but not least, our fourth speaker, Tamino, will be summarized and organized to the opposition and leave you in no doubt that the relationship can have negative impact on student academic performance. We, negative team, wholeheartedly disagree with the topic. Each of our speakers have reason why the topic is totally wrong. The first speaker for the affirmative team said how families are important in our life and relationship can be like more important in our life. And like I just want to say what would you say a person in a blended family? Like blended families means like a family consisting of a couple, the children they had together and their children from the previous relationship. Some research say that the rate of being abused is 6 times higher than in the blended families. Some studies say the student in a blended family who is sexually abused by his or her parents, like Molly to get trauma in his or her life. Most of the time, those trauma disrupt them so much and they can really focus on their student school lesson. As a result, their academic performance will disagree. Now, I will continue my own argument. The word relationship for love means an emotional and sexual association between 2 people. Most of students at around 15 and 16 at our age, they probably think that having a boyfriend or girlfriend is so cool. When you don't have a boyfriend or girlfriend, they think like you're uncool. And also in Myanmar, due to the pandemic and political condition, most of students at our age get married. Let's think about the problems. Aren't they way too young to get married at our age? What about their education? They don't even have own business. Such kind of case can be seen and heard around us. So, as a result, it makes student educational journey stop. What I want to say is, students should focus on study in their student life. We can go back to our student life when we get older. That time you will be like, God, I wish I could have done it. If you don't focus on your study at a young age, you'll regret it later. Student life is one of the most memorable and important parts of a person's life. So we shouldn't waste our precious student life. Plus, the word relationship for love doesn't match with the student. Thank you for your attention.
And now again, we'll have POI session for 1 minute. So any POI for group 4, you can ask now if you're ready.
So you talk about family support is important for a student, and don't you think that how a student can be outstanding by himself or herself?
Can you ask the question again?
Okay, so you mentioned about that, family sporting is really important for a student. So don't you think that a student can be outstanding with only his or her, sorry, you mentioned about that, family supporting is important for a student. So don't you think that a student can be outstanding by himself or herself without supporting?
Yeah, you can stay and answer the question.
Okay. What's the main point are you asking to me?
The main point is, don't you think that a student can be outstanding only with her CA, something like that, or only with her only trying hard alone without supporting? Because you mentioned about family supporting is also important for a student life.
I didn't say like supported by family.
Yes, you didn't say
said,
families.
Yes. I said blended family.
It's
the
also
first
like
the first affirmative
yes.
speaker. Yeah, the first affirmative speaker said about how family important. So I answer like about the blended family.
Yes,
you're asking me like supportive family. I didn't say supportive family.
No, I didn't mean that. I mean, you say about that it has the same meaning with is family. It is if a student get a supporting or something get from a family. No, if a student get a supporting from a family, or if it is if a student is happy with her or his family. So,
Well, thank you for questions and thank you, speaker. And now let's welcome the second affirmative speaker from Group 4, Adrian. So you can start now if you're ready.
Can you hear me well? Hello?
Yes, clearly.
Yes. Good evening, everybody. I'm the second affirmative speaker, Adrian. The first speaker from the negative team is negative team trying to point out that a relationship point out that a relationship has the negative impact for the students' academic performance. So to start with a relationship with family, in my opinion, although children and their families sometimes have arguments, it can have a negative effect on the children's academic performance. I have reasons why I think like that. So firstly, let's think about how children can improve their academic performance. Very outstanding children become in this situation is not because of their parents' love and support. That is kind of true, that if they get love and support from their family, they feel cheerful, so they have energy to try hard everything. But how can a child be excellent without his or her zeal? Children's academic performance mainly depend on the children, like how they are passionate, how they are persevering, and how much they can do. And parents can always go and quarrel with their children, but it doesn't mean they don't have any interest in your studies. We all know that families, including our families, want their children to be outstanding and aim their academic performance too high. Nurturing a child is not easy. Why do parents struggle in their everyday life and work hard? Of course, this is because they want to give us the best they can. None of the parents says, "Hey baby, don't study, go and play games." Why I'm saying that is I want to point out that all of the parents think playing games negatively affect children's study and they want them to study instead. Then didn't they want us to learn other skills instead of study? Yes, they didn't, because they want their children to focus only on studying. This is mostly happening in Asian countries. In this situation, children should introduce their family to their hobbies and discuss what they want to do, how much they are happy when doing them, or how hobbies are concerned with their ambitions. As they love their children, they will understand and will support them. Now, let's move on to relationship with friends. If you and your friends have the same hobbies, you both can do your hobbies together and can share ideas each other. How enjoyable it is. Then what if you guys can support one another? Two friends will support whatever you do or whether you are in good or bad conditions. To give an example, I will give an example of me. I'm really into drawing, and this is a different hobby with my friends. None of my friends are interested in drawing, but they support me in everything, such as they have a look at my painting and suggest what I should do to get better, or they find the places where the art supplies are available. From that, I get motivation a lot, and it makes me want to try hard. I also support and help whenever they need help. These are how true best friends always support each other. As a result, they do get motivation and feel that their friends are staying on their side even though there is no one. To sum up, I don't mean that every relationship causes only advantages for students. We have to discuss each other to get a better situation. Then we will get support and will have more positive impacts. Thank you so much for your attention, and the rest will be discussed by our guest speaker, in Villian. And questions are welcome.
So now I will have POI session for 1 minute. And so any POI for group 1, you can ask now if you're ready.
I'm also the speaker from the negative team. And you state that family plays an important role for students' academic performance, right?
Sorry, can you repeat? I didn't hear clearly.
Yeah, you mentioned that family plays an important. Hello, can you hear me?
Hello.
Hello, yeah, I can hear you clearly. Can you hear me?
I cannot hear you clearly. Can you repeat?
Yeah. Yeah, okay, I will repeat. Yeah, you state that family plays an important role for students' academic performance. So, and what would you say about a student in a broken family? You know, they have depression, they have anxiety from that trauma. So, what would you say about a student in a broken family?
Yeah, for that, don't you think that a student can be outstanding only himself, only with her zeal, only with her perseverance? Yes, maybe broken family, students from broken family can have depressions, and they can concentrate on their study, but they can survive from this problem, and they can try hard themselves, and they can try whatever they want with only his or her zeal. And
Well, that is interesting.
Yeah,
That is interesting. But you know, I think you don't understand my question. I said the trauma get from that terrible movement, broken family, right? So, they can that trauma can come to us any point of our weak movement. You know, so what would you say about that trauma?
And you should know that in our life, there are only we don't have only our families. We have also our friends, and maybe we can have our boyfriends or girlfriends. So don't you think that they can support and they give love? That will be a support for the person who get trauma from broken family.
You can support
Okay,
your relationship.
please, that's 1 minute
Sorry?
for POI. And again, let's welcome the second negative speaker from Group 1, Sunil. So you can start now if you're ready.
Can you hear me?
Yes, clearly.
Good evening, principals, teachers, students, and other audience. My name is Sunil from Group 1. The topic for today's debate is that relationship can have positive impact on students' academic performance. Now, we as student opposition strongly believe that this is not true, but let me first repeat this. The affirmative say that a very outstanding student support from the parent love. We can see what you are saying, but are the supported things that you mentioned really supported? Are they the duty of the every parents that must have? The definition of the supported is that someone or something who provides emotionally help and encouragement. For this case, I like to claim about the parents in the Myanmar. Myanmar here in Myanmar don't really know what their children want to be in the futures. They only know what they want their children to be. They might think they are supporting their children, but in fact, they are making their children over pressures and stressors. The beginnings of all the cases I mentioned about are caused by the unsupported family. So let me continue my argumentation. Well, my main point is how valuable a student life is. As you know, that student life is a golden life because student life is the most important part of the human life. It is a period of the pure joys and happiness for the reason that the mind of the student is free from cares and worries of the current life. After that, every student should try to his best to make the best use of his life. The primary duty of the student is to learn and to acquire a knowledge. He must do all his work at the right moment and maintain punctualities and discipline. And he must remember that if a student becomes successful in his student's career and his career is built on the sound basic, he will be able to shine in any spheres of life and serve his societies and countries. In the future, he will be on top of the being big stars that others cannot follow him. I support that as the students, he must try to develop his intellect. He should also try to acquire some good qualities. For instance, obedience, dutifulness, respect of elders, love and sympathy for fellow men in the societies. The duty of the student is to obey his parents, teachers, and respect the elders. Student life builds the foundation for our life. Thus, if your foundation is strong, the building will be a strong one too. However, a weak foundation cannot make a building stand. In other words, students help us embrace human qualities. Yeah, they are future hope of the countries. They should try to be the best citizens in all respects so that he may serve his countries as far as he can. Of course, we must be able to use this precious time in our student life efficiently, and we should also make good use of our student life without forcing on other things. Thank you for your attention.
Okay, again, we will have POI session for 1 minute, and any POI from Group 4, you can ask now if you're ready.
Yes, I will just raise a question. Yeah, you mentioned that a student's obedience, respectfulness, and others come from should be civilized himself or herself. So the thing is, a human cannot be learn that things from just himself. He need to learn from other things. So yeah, why do you think learning himself or herself is better than communicating with other relationships then?
I think the students. Please tell me your questions. I can hear.
I mean, you mentioned that a student should a student or a person can civilize himself like obedience or respectfulness and other things, just himself or herself. That the thing is how learning from other people surrounding you is the most common thing and usual thing for every human. So why do you think like that in that way? I mean, what kind of benefits can get from that habit?
Yes, because this is a duty of the student life, and also we have to obey our parents and teachers and also the elders, and also like we have to we need to like we need to respect on elders, and we need obedience to the difference, and also like definiteness of followments. Yes, I think they will learn. I think they will learn also. I mean,
Yeah, to learn that things is only from their parents or friends or something like that. People like that should be like caring on him or like have positively impact. Or if negative impact, that thing gonna be, he or she cannot learn that things at all. So yeah, why learning himself just so thing is better.
I think book. They learn from book or like, yeah, because we are. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you well.
Because we are 21st century, so we can learn on phone or books or something.
Yeah, of course, books give knowledge, but not attitudes can only be learned from people and people.
Please tell me again.
It's okay. You have already answered your question. Yeah, thank you. We can
You
just.
got my point yet?
Yes, you answered.
Okay, thank you.
But it doesn't mean I agree with you.
I think teacher, I need to show the screen since Hintats was logging a bit. So just give me a few moments, please. Okay, so I will show my screen. Now let's welcome to the next speaker. You can start now.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Tae and first of all, first negative speaker to the said that one you need to be in a relationship instead of studying. So I think this is depend on the person. If you're enjoying studying, you like to study all the time, but you are not like this. You don't need to study like all the time, right? So for the second speaker, Sunil, I think so. She said that like, she said in Myanmar, parents are like parents want their children to be what they want. So I think this is not for me because my parents are like always support me though. So because they are like always baby, you can do you can choose your own decision to what to do when you grow up. So this is not for me at all. Like so. And okay, then after that, in addition, I really want to highlight to you guys some of the facts. Let's get started. Even individuals who are introverted and prefer being in solitude feel that they are all alone when they feel falling down. According to this, we need a partner for our life to spend time or to face up the difficulties of life together with. Everyone has their own created fate since they were born, and it is already arranged that who will be your life partner and a glimpse of you and your partner. So our surrounding people aren't always chosen by ourselves. Sometimes we can't avoid the people who we want, and especially for work or for school projects and or for personal matters. Therefore, meeting a partner or being in a relationship in student life is not a big deal. If you end up meeting your match and find yourself in a healthy relationship, it can actually do wonders for your academic performance. Whether because they want to build a better future life with their partner or simply because they are happy in their relationship. It gives them more motivation and drives them to achieve higher grades. I want to present my real life experience as an example. Let's look at the example. My mom and my dad started dating since they were in grade 8. Yes, grade 8. But Asian parents are strict as always, so as you know. So even though time flies so fast, they could only exchange letters, just letters. Here's the point is my dad wasn't very good at studying, but in order to win my mom's hands, he needed the approval of my grandmother, who was a teacher at the time. So he studied hard, broke a lot of his bad habits, and improved himself for the better. Those are the actual improvements for my dad. After the school finished, they were allowed to date officially, and they are still together now. Together. How so? Let's see another example. Everyone, have you ever seen the couple saying how they tried together and how they got success together, or something like this as a motivational post for other couples? Sounds familiar, right? So those are the benefits of being in a healthy relationship. They feel more confident in their abilities with their partner by their side. Going through the ups and downs, I think this is another good example of how relationships can positively affect your academic life. And you guys mentioned above, like you guys are like you need to study all the time, and relationship, being in a relationship like friendship or couple or family, so they are like the kind of happiness you have to sometimes with them to happy sometimes. So this is not so always for we don't need to study all the time. So thank you so much for paying attention to me and so on. Our last speaker, Jonathan, that will summarize and conclude our affirmation. Thank you.
Speaker, and we will only have again POI session for 1 minute. So POI from group 1, you can start now if you're ready.
Okay, that's very interesting. And I have some question. What was the refutation you made against our argument, our last speaker, Sunewe argument? What was your refutation?
Said that like Myanmar parents like always they want their children to be like exam doctor like so, but it's not for like every parent. Some parents are really good at things. Like my parents want my parents don't speak like that because they always support me what I want to be, and they always support that what if I want to be businesswoman. So they always support us. No, you don't do that when you grow up. So they never say that like that. So they always support me. But you said like Myanmar parents are always strict, like they want their children to be what they want. So this is not I don't agree, not at all. So that is.
Well, that's a good one, but I have some question in my head. You also mentioned that all relationships are healthy, right?
What do you mean? Sorry.
Yep, you state in your argument, you said all relationships are healthy. And what was the example you provided in your argument? You stated you provided statement, but you didn't provide the example for that facts.
So do you want like the example of healthy relationship like that?
Yeah.
Okay, I can say that. Like healthy relationship is kind of like as for a romantic relationship, you might think it can lead to uncontrollable love and then has a crash in exam. Actually, a healthy relationship is even needed for certain exam world. You and your partner will chill and hang out together in free time, then remind each other to study and can even study together. It's like to one shot, two kills. What I meant by that is you can learn your partner's heart in school, letting at the same time, even if you have a low resist or he or she will hear you and drag you back on the right track. So that's a healthy relationship, like kind of.
Well, that's all my question. Thanks you for answering my question.
Thank you too.
Thank you for question. Thank you, speaker. Hey, really. And now let's welcome the third negative speaker from group one. Name. So you can start now if you're ready.
Yeah, shall we start? Good evening, guys, teacher and student. I'm Tanyamin from Group 1. The topic for our debate is relationship can have positive impact on student academic performance. We strongly believe that that's wrong. Before I can do my own argument, let me rebut them. Affirmative thing. I think that affirmative thing is about friend. Every friend around you, including your best friend, is not as positive as you think of. In fact, you can find many intimate in real life. Just think of that inside our social cycle, having good grade or being smart from upon. It can be a reason for others to diss you and take advantage of you if you are not careful. For example, your so-called friend may be secretly jealous or feel threatened by your success and want to bring you down to the same level as them. If you perform well, some of your friends may start labeling you as hyper again and again. This will make you annoyed, bring your self-confidence down, and affect your concentration on your study. Every friend around you, including your best friend, is not as positive as you think. As the speaker for the negative thing, I will outline why must not students waste their valuable time just for their left instead of studying. I'll be arguing 2 points. Initially, how important time is for our left. Secondly, why does having a relationship waste their time? First of all, most understand how valuable time is underutilized. It is really clear that the more precious resource we all have is time. We should not waste it in any way. We can earn the money we spend, but we cannot get back the time we have lost. Time is more valuable than money. The greatest investment a student can make is in their own education, in their own mind. Because money come and go, relationship come and go, but what you learn once you stay with you forever. So as we are students, we should invest in our education instead of wasting our time on the relationship. Having a relationship are just wasting their time. Skills are impacted by how much time you invest. Secondly, people will think why I am saying that having a relationship is just wasting their time. In fact, you can find many examples for this in real life. Just think of if you have a girlfriend or boyfriend, you need to talk chat with them every day. Sometimes you might need to date with them. When you date with your relationship, you need to give your time and money on some special day. For example, your partner birthday or Valentine's Day, you need to buy and give a present to your girlfriend or boyfriend. As a normal person, giving a present is not a problem, but as a student, especially my students, do not have their own income. They are just wasting their parent money by giving a present to their relationship. In addition, if you break up with your relationship, you will get depression and mental disorder that causes a feeling of sadness, and you won't be able to concentrate on your education well. According to research published in the Journal of Positive Psychology, it takes 11 weeks to get over a breakup. 11 weeks. It is approximately equal to 3 months. During that time, you won't be able to work on your education. As a result, your academic performance will significantly slow. To get the main point, if you don't want to waste your precious time and money, don't get to have a relationship when you are a student. If I were you, instead of being in a relationship, I would spend my time studying my school lesson and achieve academic success. Thank you.
Okay, that's 1 minute but there will be 1 minute POI session. So any POI from group 4, you can ask now if you're ready.
So why do you think that having relationship is a waste of time? Because if there is no relationship and no marriage, there will be no human anymore.
Yeah, I said for student, having a relationship is just wasting the time, not for normal person.
As student is also a normal person, you know.
No, they don't have their own income. They need to work for education to get academic success.
But you can that student can do academic performance, and they can also have relationship for their life from as the speaker of our affirmative team mentioned about that. Her parents are couples from their student life. So yeah, there are a lot of positive impact for student life. And don't you think that if you have a student, if in your student life, if you have a relationship, it would more positive impact for your study, because you two can study each other. Sorry, you can support and study each other.
You are just saying your own argument or asking me.
No, asking you.
Yeah, can you ask me again?
You said that having a relationship is a waste of time for student life, right?
Yes. Just with it.
But yes, having a relationship in a student life also can isn't also a waste of time, because you can manage your time for like study time and having a relationship time, like you speak with your partner.
Yeah, but if you have, as I mentioned, if you have relationship, you need to talk and chat with them every day. So you need to waste your time talking with them every day. You need to sometimes you might need to take with them. You need to give your time and money. Money is your parent money, because you don't have all income, especially you're a student.
But you can manage them because for you said that many if you give present for your partner, your money will all of your money won't be gone, you know.
But you need to give money.
It is expressing your love.
What do you say?
It is expressing your love, not a waste of time.
No, it's just wasting for student. Because
Thank you for your answer.
Yeah.
Okay, so P1 times is already time's up. So thank you for your speech, Tanime. And now let's welcome to the lab speakers of the affirmative teams, Command Center. You can start if you're ready.
I will just start now. Yeah, hello, ladies and gentlemen. I will just rebuttal to the other team first of all. Yeah, of course, the negative team speakers, mentioned some points that a person can learn obedience or respectfulness and other moral things just by himself or books, and having relationship is a waste of time. Actually, throughout our affirmative speakers, we strongly highlighted that all relationships will be improved only if they are healthy. Toxic relationships always end up in negative way. We all know that. We don't even need to discuss a lot about that. Okay, so what is healthy relationship? We already explained it above. Healthy relationships only can be built within many kinds of relationships, including friends, family, your boyfriend or girlfriend, yeah, that kind of things. Yeah, of course, studying is not dying. We can only be studying all time, yeah, of course, having a relationship is not actually a waste of time. You don't need to chat every day to your partner, having a close up is just enough. You don't really need to say hi, good morning, good night. I mean, only as you wish. So yeah, I'll just stop my rebuttal here and let me start my part. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, education is hand in hand connecting with parents, students, and teachers. All of us need to build healthy relationships within each other to civilize the younger generations to be intellectual. By the word intellectual, it doesn't only count in school subjects, but also morals, ethics, extracurricular activities, and a happy learning environment. All relationships containing platonic friendships, romantic couples, tied families, romantic random classmates, and teachers tend to be improving your soul and academics in many ways. Some of those ways have already been mentioned by our previous speakers. Don't get me wrong, I know there can be some side effects exceptionally in interacting with people, and I'm not saying your relationships are the main cause of your performances. Only yourself can make things happen. The main thing is to be healthy relationships, and at least you will know you're just a normal student, what kind of things you can expect from a normal school life, and for what extent the academic results are valuable to you. I'll just give an example from Three Idiots Indian movie. It vividly reflects all 3 points. In that movie, everyone is struggling with their own problems. They couldn't even care about their real hobbies, and their families and teachers have an obsolete view of exam results. 100% enjoys precisely. Rancho helped both Fahan and Raju and what they really want in their life, forgetting the external pressure carrying on their shoulders. And turns out they finally achieved success in their own ways. This is just an example. We have many actualization in our surroundings. All of us experience a crisis like depression as we are teens. In times like that, never forget that having someone who listens to your heart around you is purely a gift. As explained above by our previous speakers, I will just outline a point, which is that being left out usually worsens your school life. It includes bad performances due to a lack of communication with others. On the other hand, teachers and parents should persuade their kids to stay comfortably instead of pushing them to make friends and improve those relationships. So going back to the motion, me and my team believe that relationships can have more positive impacts on students' academic performances rather than negative impacts. So on behalf of my team, I would like to say thank you so much for your attention. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the end of our group 4 affirmation. Thank you.
Again, we will have POI session for 1 minute. So any POI from negative side, you can ask now if you're ready.
Well, that's a good example. You take Three Idiot movie as an example. That's a good movie. Well, but in your argument and in the movie, there's some weak point. You know that? I think everybody remember the suicide scene, right? Yep. A student suicide because of his headmaster, and his headmaster told the father that your son is not doing well in the academic performance, right? So why did the headmaster do that cruel movement to the student, and that leads to a student to suicide? So what would you say about that?
Yeah, I actually remember the part. Yeah, as I mentioned, it's not a healthy relationship anymore. Mr. Lobo, that engineer student, was pressured with his personal problems and also by his teacher. I mean, he was forced to hand in his project in deadline. So, of course, he had met pressure. I mean, this is not a healthy way, and this is not what a relationship should be between teacher and a student. Yeah, if he was a good teacher, he would understand the thing, and he would give extra time at least. Yeah, or forgive it all.
I have some question. In that movie, the parent of Farhan, why they forced to be an engineer instead of he want to be an animal photographer? That is wrong thing of parents.
Yeah.
Also in Myanmar and other Asian countries.
It's a wrong parenting, you know. They didn't know what their son want to be. They just know what they want their children to be. So what would you say about that?
Finally, their parents changed their mind because his son was understand of his life, his passion, and able to explain what he really wants in life to their parents, and their parents accept him. So yeah, this is what healthy relationship means, and he got success in that. Yeah, and I mentioned in that they all ended up having success.
You said that the parent left him too, but that is just a movie. In real life, you tell your friends' parents to not to do that. That can be impossible.
Yeah. Therefore, in real life, it's a movie. And also, you saw that they changed their mind. They changed their mind because of by themselves. They changed their mind because of the main character Rancho. You know.
Yes, of course. You guys said it is impossible for in real life, but even in this Zoom meeting, all of us are taking the subjects we would like to continue in their higher education. You know, no one is forced to take the subjects. We are just choosing our favorite subjects to learn.
That's a few percent of students, you know, not all.
Yeah, maybe not all, but most of us is surely taking what they really want.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's all my questions to you. Thank you for answering. We appreciate.
Thank you for posting. Thank you, Speaker Kaumya Sanda. And now let's welcome the last negative speaker from Group 1, Tamya No Candy. So you can start now, please.
Can I start now? So, well, ladies and gentlemen, teachers and students, welcome for the last time from today's opposition. It is now my pleasure to summarize this debate. Take a look at what both sides have said and see what the outcome of this debate actually is. So we pointed out that being a student, your role is to study. A relationship is a later part of life, and generally when you're done with your studies. And no one can deny the truth of the saying, students today are leaders of tomorrow. Students who has a strong desire to achieve success in life must be a dutiful student according to the saying, a good beginning makes a good ending. A student's life is the most important part in his life. As I always say, be someone first and then look for someone. So you would attract the right relationship into your life based on who you have become. Actually, teenage is a period of our life when our body uses maximum of its efficiency. And it is the time to dream, experience, learn, and turn your dreams into reality, like Tutan mentioned in her speech. And Einstein said, if you want to live a happy life, tie it to a goal, not to people or things. Yep, it is true. Mind it, hard work is a vector quantity. It has both magnitude and direction, and both are equally important, which means like we have to put a certain amount of effort to achieve success. So we better focus on ourselves on something which is more productive. And you know, nowadays, like students are not aware that it is too dangerous to look deeply at anything, like look at everything, look at each other, and draw their own conclusions. This actually means that they will continue to dabble with romance while his academic performance steadily decreases. And as far as I'm concerned, an early relationship distracts the student, and as a result, they are unable to perform their best. For reasons like this, we strongly object against early relationships since teens are not ready to deal with the potential rejection or heartbreaks like the Holden experience. They might become depressed and lose a lot of self-esteem, which devastates their performance at school. And to prevent this from happening, I am absolutely convinced that students should not get romantically interested in one another. And when people are in love, like they just want to satisfy themselves. Like love can make people less interested in studying, and the time they devote to study can decrease rapidly. Friends and family play an important role in the educational process. Friend circle can totally change your lifestyle, then why not studies? Your fake friends will never let you concentrate on your studies, and you're gonna match up your studies. And in Gangye Center's speech, he mentioned a movie. And I would like to say that life isn't a movie or a fairy tale, and not everybody has unhealthy relationships. So according to Google, 84% of women and 75% of men has a toxic relationship at some point. And toxic friends, negative friends, codependent friends, and friends who are a bad influence, they all fall into the same category. And research has shown that those kinds of relationships can lead to an increase in depression and lower self-esteem. And yeah, according to Google, 68% of the people have been betrayed by a friend at some point in their lives. And changes in family dynamic, let us say like divorcing parents or blended family, they can cause students to feel guilty, neglected, or even unloved, and as a result, lose focus at school. And financial strife and sibling bullying can also put stress on a child's emotions and cause them to lose focus or at school. In conclusion, I have no doubt whatsoever that it is possible for love to wreck a person's education and destroy their bright future. We would like to thank the judges, the audience, and the opponents for coming to this debate. And we would also like to state one final time that relationships can have negative impacts on students' academic performance. Thank you for your attention.
Okay, now this time we will have the last POI session of today's debate. So any POI from affirmative side, you can start now if you're ready.
And so you guys are like just studying for the negative impact. So for the relationship, be in a relationship like not only couple, like family or friends. So did you guys didn't stand for this. So do you want to live your rest of the like loner?
Well, like being alone is better than being betrayed. And yeah, being betrayed by your family or like friends. Like I know families don't betray, but not everyone has a healthy family. Yeah.
So did your family betray you?
No, and yeah, of course I said that families don't betray each other, didn't I?
Okay, thank you.
Any questions left from affirmative side? Okay, now our debate between Group 1 and Group 4 has been successfully finished. I'd like to ask the two teams to congratulate each other, and we thank you for coming.
Thank you, Group 4. We appreciate your time and your energy. Yep.
Yeah,
Oh, your energy.
appreciate your questions and your involvement in this round.
Oh, that's really cool. And thank you very much for your hard work and also really, like impact on that. That's really good. I think you got some useful, tips and techniques for debate as well. Hope you will get something. And the results will be announced tomorrow morning. Wow. As soon as the result was out, you will receive the, yeah. Okay. Prizes. Okay. At once. Yes.
Something like, the result will announce on the class or like when we do the class meetings or just on the Viber group?
No, just in the class. Yeah. Tomorrow we have the class tomorrow morning, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's how we announce. Okay. Yeah. I got it. The announcer, who is he? Cho Tao, right? Like Cho Tao, we have to announce. Okay, great. Thank you very much. All of you are really tired, so take a rest and see you tomorrow morning then. Bye-bye, everyone. Take care.
Bye, teacher.
Bye, teacher.
Bye, teacher. And you,
Thank
sir.
you, thank you so much to audience as well. Bye-bye. Take care.